Well, with summer still in full swing and yet another heat warning, it's hard to believe that back-to-school shopping is already underway. And this year, it's coming with sticker shock as parents get a lesson on navigating tariffs.
Yeah, joining us live this morning once again is a retail expert, president of Bruce Winder Retail. Bruce Winder, Bruce, we always appreciate your expertise on this. This is the thing. Everything I read and see these days says the tariffs are really going to start taking impact in September. But most of what I heard is that's more south of the border than in Canada. But there's going to be an impact here as well. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, you know what? Any products that are coming through the U.S. via, Southeast Asia or other countries into Canada are going to see some of that price increase, that inflation from the tariffs. In addition, some of the big brands are harmonizing their pricing. They can't have Canada's pricing be a lot cheaper than the U.S. because of the tariffs, or Americans will flock to Canada. So there's a lot of different things happening right now from a pricing perspective in the market.
Okay, so Bruce, you're the retail expert. What is your advice for parents looking to get a head start on back to school shopping? I know one of the things is, wait till you find out what they actually need. Any other tips?
Yeah, the other tip I would say is, if you need to buy some things, look around, search around. There are deals out there you can look for. See if you can thrift some things too, through Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji, hand-me-downs, things like that. Do you really need national brands? Can you use store brands instead? They tend to be really cheaper than some of the national brands, things like that.
It's interesting, right? I mean, back to school, kids sort of are eager to buy all new, but you don't necessarily need all new all the time. But on the essentials, Bruce, are these kind of like going to be across the board, everything from pencils to paper to binders? It's all going to be impacted by the tariffs?
No, it's going to be hit or miss. I mean, some of the big companies that buy directly from some of the countries, they might not see as much tariff because we just don't have the same tariffs in Canada. But some of the small to medium-sized companies that use U.S. distributors will probably see them for sure.
Okay, and switching gears, Bruce, let's talk about the whole situation with BC billionaire Ruby Liu trying to, take over these former Hudson Bay department stores and kind of the court or whoever, or the landlords rather, rejecting this deal, saying it's too risky. What do we know about this?
Yeah, on the weekend, the several landlords put forth a motion to the court saying, listen, we don't believe in the business plan that Central Walk, which is Miss Liu's company, has put forward, and we don't want to lease the properties to her, sort of in a united front. So it's going to come to a bit of a head. I think the next meeting in the courts is Tuesday, and they're trying to wrap it up by the end of the month. But HBC and Miss Liu are saying, no, these are my agreements. I'm entitled to go there. And, the landlords are saying, no, we don't want that. We'd rather lease it out to other people. So it's an interesting bump in the road for Miss Liu as she tries to open up her new chain.
How surprising is this, Bruce? Because effectively what Ms. Liu is offering them is sort of income, at least for a certain time, as she's planning on taking over lease. So therefore they would be getting money, whereas there's uncertainty as to maybe there are no other offers on the table beyond that. Does any of this come as a surprise to you, or do you see this as a potentially questionable retail strategy on her behalf?
No, I think it's kind of just rolled out in a very interesting and sort of odd way. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that the landlords would have such a big issue with her business plan, but for whatever reason they do, and for whatever reason, they're opting out of it. So it's a little bit surprising, but definitely, I guess they feel the risk is too high, and they would rather have an open slate and try to fill that space, maybe at higher rents than what Miss Liu would pay, and maybe with, initiatives or stores that can generate higher traffic and higher rent per square foot.
Yeah, maybe they're going to turn them into pickleball courts. We've seen that happen. We've played at a tournament at a former retail department store, and pickleball is taking off. All right, that's our time this morning. Bruce Winder, retail expert, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.